Hey everyone, I am going to do a reading from Manda Mellett's Amy Santa, Satan's Devils MC Second Generation Book 1. Prologue. Drew's interactions with Amy. Drew, age 17, Amy, age 7. Hey Squirt, fancy escaping this joint? Amy's little face snaps expectantly towards mine, her stillness suggesting she's holding her breath. I'm going to visit the Desert Museum. Wanna tag along? Slowly, she gets to her feet, her eyes wide. She glances around as if to check that it really is her I'm addressing. When she sees there's no one else there, her eyes widen. Go to the Desert Museum? With you? Fuck. But this little girl gets me in the feels. She's a delight to be around, cheerful, friendly, and helpful. So much so I've noticed that Marcia depends on her a lot. With 3-year-old twins and a baby just a year old, her stepmom is run ragged. While I expect she'd be horrified if I pointed it out, and it's certainly not my place to do so, Marcia takes advantage of Amy's naturally sunny disposition. And, Amy, can you help me? Or, Amy, Jacob's crying, can you go see to him? Or, Amy, can you tidy the twins' toys up? Has Amy leaving what she's doing and happily completing the task. She likes to help and seldom complains or refuses. I had first met her when my life changed dramatically 2 years back. Rather than living in a trailer, existing hand to mouth, often going hungry, my older sister and I had come to live among the bikers of the Satan's Devils Motorcycle Club. When Mariana married Mouse, all changes were for the better. Important to a growing lad, different to all my years prior, my stomach was always full. Mariana had looked after me since our mom was taken away when I was just 9, and she only 14, but apparently no one knew about the 2 kids who were left to fend for themselves. I was born in the United States, conceived as a result of the rape which had caused Mom to flee her home country. Mariana was just 4 when she had been smuggled over the border. After Mom had been deported, we had lived under the radar, terrified the same fate was on the horizon for my sister. When Mom had arrived back in Colombia, she had been dead within months at the hands of our father. Mariana is now well on the way to achieving her legal status, and that's all thanks to Mouse and his MC brothers. I owe them a debt I doubt I can ever repay. That I wanted to make restitution was a bone of contention between myself and my sister. I want to prospect next year when I become 18, but she doesn't like the notion at all. To her, education is all important. We reached a compromise. Mouse is the technical guru of the MC, and I'd become fascinated with how he searches out information, finding it no matter how many layers it was buried. When he suggested I obtain a degree in computer science, just as he had done himself, I saw a way to both satisfy Mariana's desire for me to continue my studies and to pay back the club. I knew I'd eventually end up working with Mouse. With everything happening, I had had little time to get out and explore. We'd never had money to go to the local attractions and couldn't afford the school trips, so there are places I've always wanted to see. Now that I'm mobile with my own car, I can visit them myself, and as school's broken up for the summer, I've got some spare time. Yes, Squirt, I want to go and would like some company. And that's the honest truth, even if it's only that of a 7-year-old girl. She's been before. Hart, her father says fondly. She went with a school last year. His lips pressed together. She loved it. We should have taken her again, but the twins and Alexis are quite a handful. I appreciate that. The shit they have to get together before taking Jacob, Isabel, and the baby out seems ridiculous, and a good reason they tend to stay on the compound. I want to go, Amy cries with excitement, then adds, obviously remembering the lessons drummed into her. Thank you. Well, all right then. It's good to bring some fun into her life. And get ice cream? We'll see. I glance at Hart. He raises his chin. Hart's face shows his love for her as he says, "You'll be good for Drew, Amy." Amy tugs at my sleeve. I want to see all the animals there and play in the playhouse. Oh, and can I hold a snake, please, Drew? Her little face, framed by the gorgeous blonde locks she got from Crystal, her birth mother, is lit with excitement. A chuckle comes from my throat. You want to be a pack rat, do you? We'll see what we can do. You sure you're ready for this? Hart grins at me. I give him a lift on my chin to show that I am, conveying in that one gesture that he can trust me with her. And the monster? I'm stumped for a moment, but then remember the Gila monster, the venomous lizard which is native around here. Whatever you want, sweetheart. With Amy chattering nonstop from the time we get into my car until we arrive at the Arizona Sonora Desert Museum, I know I made the right choice. Amy deserves some excitement, some dedicated time to her. I admit to feeling like I'm back to being a kid myself as I let her lead me from exhibit to exhibit, sharing her delight in the animals and reptiles, seeing the wonder through her child's eyes. Can I have a pig? She asks as we pause at an enclosure. They are called javelinas, I correct her. How what? Javelinas, I repeat patiently. Well, can I have one? I'd look after it. Can you ask Daddy? I chuckle. What do you think Grant would make of that, Amy? They could sleep together, she suggests with a stubborn expression. For a second I have an image of a wolfhound grouse and javelina snuggled up together. It makes me laugh. Something I've been doing a lot of today. They live outside, Amy, and they smell. I pinch my nose and grimace to make the point, and she sniffs the air. Ew, she exclaims as the smell hits her and she realizes it's coming from something completely unsuitable to be a pet. Just like that, she forgets about her unreasonable demand. Our day is made complete by the consumption of ice cream. I had a cone myself. If I'm honest, this is the first time in my life I felt completely free from everything my 17 years had thrown at me. So when I return home, Amy's so tired she's dozing beside me. It's easy to think this won't be the last time, and we'll go on a few more outings in the future. Drew, age 19, Amy, age 9. That's right, hold the reins. I lean over the small pony and position her fingers and thumbs correctly. Then I take a firm grip of the lead rein. Heels down, I remind her, and click my tongue to get Patch, the elderly 11-hand pony whose temperament is ideal for teaching a child, plodding sedately forward. She squeals, half in fear, half in delight, as Patch begins to move. How's she doing? A loud voice calls. Look at me, Mouse! I'm watching, sweetheart. You're looking good up there. Straighten your back and let go of the saddle horn now. Hey, look at that. You're doing great. I encourage her when she bravely does what Mouse says. Mouse, a great horse lover and a rider, had taken over a ramshackle riding stable when the owner retired. That's where the three of us are currently living, and I've learned to find my way around a horse, and while my skills are nowhere near Mouse's, I'm not a bad rider myself. I thought Amy might enjoy meeting the horses and ponies and learning to ride, and I hadn't been wrong. 2 weeks later, I'm proud as punch as she trots in a circle around me, and not long after that, she progresses to the more energetic Palomina named Sunny, who she soon comes to adore. She loves the experience so much, she now wants to go to the stables all the time. I compromise, and we end up going weekly. Drew, age 24, Amy, age 14. I want to go, she stamps her foot. Amy, you can't. It's not fair. You're taking Sabrina to the movies and I want to come too. Not only do I now possess my master's in computer science, I've completed my prospecting time for the club and have been patched in. With my up-to-date knowledge, Mouse has to admit occasionally I can make programs behave which have been dancing circles around my brother-in-law, which has earned me a reputation as a computer whiz. It was no surprise really that my road name was settled on as Wizard. To Amy, I'll always be the youth called Drew who took her out everywhere. Nowadays, she's the only person who calls me by my legal name. Old habits, it seems, are hard to break. I often wonder if it's a way to remind me of our past before I join the MC and have more on my plate than entertaining her. It's hard to accept that our relationship is changing. She's no longer a cute little girl, but a teenager who thinks she's more mature than she is. She can no longer monopolize my free time, and this isn't the first occasion when I've had to turn her down. How to explain to her that now I want to spend time with a girl and a thought I keep to myself, hopefully the night will end up with a good fuck. Of course, since I got my patch, I've played with a horse, but I'm discreet, as well as are in front of the kids. I don't think she looks at me as a man with needs way beyond what she can fulfill. I glance over at Hart, but he shrugs as if to say, I'm on my own. In return, I glare. Amy's still sweet and helpful, but she's at that age when she's not grown but not a child any longer. She's eyeing me now with narrowed eyes, and when she sees I'm not going to give in, she storms out of the clubhouse. I heave a sigh, knowing I can't leave it like that, knowing she's upset, not sulking. I run after her. Hey, how about we go next week, you and me together, yeah? She stopped, so I nudge her. Just you and me. Be more fun than having Sabrina there. Her face alights like the sun reappearing from behind the clouds. Really? Really. Her eyes brighten, and then she shouts, I'm going on a date with Drew. Well, fuck me. That's not what I meant. I go to correct her, but find that I can't, as she dances around in a circle, waving her arms in the air. Love her like this, so innocent. Long may she live a life without cares. Drew, age 27, Amy, age 17. Drew, can I have a word? I look up to see Amy's father stomping toward me. Inwardly I groan, having every expectation I already knew what he's going to say. Hart, I breathe out, resigned to this conversation. He nods toward a table and pulls up a chair. I kick out the one opposite and sit down. Hart takes a deep breath. Wizard, you're a fucking good brother to have at my back, but there's 10 years between you and Amy. I know, Hart. Believe me, I fucking know. Christ, I've started avoiding her. Whenever I enter the club room, she's there making a beeline for me. I've noticed the way she hitches up those shorts, showing off long thighs and legs, even thrusting her boobs at me. I do nothing to encourage her, if that's what you're thinking. I know, Wiz, but you and her? Not going to happen. Not in this lifetime. My nightmare is seeing her knocked up and throwing her life away. I feel my back straightening. You think I'd fucking do that to her? I'm 27, man. I'm not a perv who goes after 17-year-old girls. Fuck no. It's experienced women whom I prefer, and certainly ones in my age group. But deep down I know that I'm lying to myself and to Hart. Amy's grown from a child into a beautiful young woman, and damn it, I'm just a mortal man. Whoever has red blood running through their veins would find it hard to resist such temptation, but to take advantage would ruin the life she has set out in front of her. He stares as if he doesn't quite believe me, and that hurts. Although he's right to be suspicious, I can't lose the trust of a brother. I worked too hard to get where I am. I've been completely honest in what I've said to him. A man of my years doesn't have any business with a teenage girl. Abruptly standing, he looms over me. Don't care how the fuck you do it, but you nip it in the bud, wizard. I'm sick to death of seeing her mooning around after you. So am I. It gets old fast having to ignore her flirtation all the time, forcing myself not to respond. Whatever is in her head, it's not going to happen. My brow creases for a moment, hating to do anything to hurt her, but however gently I've tried verbally to set things straight, nothing has worked. After a moment, I move from my chair, going to the bar where Hart is now drinking a beer. Look, the only way for her to get it into her head that I'm not interested is to show her. I've tried everything else I can think of, Hart. He swings around, an eyebrow raised. Send her down to the clubhouse later on tonight, on one pretext or another. Up to you how you do that, brother, but I'll take it from there. Hart's far from stupid. You'll let her see you with a whore? Sighing deeply, I nod. I don't want to do it for two reasons. One, I know Amy will be hurt, and the second is I prefer my fucking in private, even though the sweet butts don't care. Silky or any one of them would be all up for my cock anytime, anywhere. It's not as if they haven't been fucked over the pool table many times before. Something's got to get it through to Amy that I'll never see her the way her teenage hormones want me to convince her I really am not into little girls.